This is Prime Sports Horse Report on Prime Sports Network as we preview the Breeders' Cup. And this is one big two-day event. Let's just say this is the one event for the 2020 thoroughbred season that has not been interrupted by that lousy Chinese COVID, can't wait to get rid of it crap. John, how's everything going?
Good, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So let's get to it because we have two races that you and I are going to handicap. I'm going to have a bonus race when I hang up with you later. That's going to be race number 8, the Breeders' Cup Sprint. But you and I are going to do races 6 and 12. Of course, we're going to do the Breeders' Cup Classic. First of all, though, we're going to do race 6, and that is the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So let's get started here. The 1 is our collector, the winner of the Bluegrass, and he ran 4th in the Preakness. That ended a 5-race win streak. He's 1 for 1 at Keeneland, which actually was his best race. He ran a 5, and that one was the Bluegrass. Now, since then, he's gone a 7-9. But 6 to 1. This horse does intrigue me. This is a horse that I'm actually going to put into my picks.
Well, the only thing he really has going for him, in my opinion, is he is breaking from the inside, and it's a big edge breaking from the inside, going a mile at Keeneland because they run right into the turn. So when you're drawing outside, you got big problems. But problem is this horse's last race. It really should have been better than a 9 with all the time off since that 5.
Yes.
So, that's the negative on the horse. I think you have better options at longer prices, personally.
All right, now the 2 is also going to be my picks because this is my top long shot, Sharp Samurai. Sharp Samurai, and I'm looking at this as more of a horse that's going to pay big odds, and I'm throwing him into my exactas because I actually think that there are 3 decent long shots in this race. I think this is the top one. 18 out of 22 on turf overall as far as his career. He's got the other 4 races on dirt. And that's, of course, what we're going to be dealing with in this race. But what I like is that even though 18 to 22 are on turf, he's had very good numbers on turf over his career. He crosses over to the dirt race at Del Mar in August and runs a 4. The odds are excellent. So I think this is a pretty decent long shot.
Yeah, this is actually going to be my key in the race. I like the 4 that he ran 2 starts back. The 8 last time out was a bounce back on the turf. The only little case I can make against him is that he did have an 8 on the dirt 3 years ago, the last time he tried the dirt. And
you mean before August? You mean before that?
Yeah, whatever that was, 3 years ago. Yeah, but listen, at 15 to 1, he's drawn inside. He's getting Irod Ortiz. No question about it. If he makes a forward move, and I think he's making a forward move, he certainly fits with these, and certainly a horse which I will be using.
Yeah, because I can look back at about 12 races, maybe more, where he's been between 4 and 10 on the sheets, and really most of them are like between 5 and 6 and 7. Again, on turf, but I really love the 4 at Del Mar in August on dirt, which proves that he can do it and cross over fine. Okay, the 3 is a long shot that's getting older and his numbers are dropping. So, he was a good horse last year, but the numbers just don't show it this year, which is why he's 30 to 1.
Well, I could make a case for this horse because his last race, when he ran the 10, he had a big T, which means he had a lot of trouble in that race.
Okay.
So let's flying through the race, and you go back races 2 and 3, they're both 6s.
Both 6s.
They're certainly as good as the 1, our collector. This horse is 30 to 1. He belongs somewhere in the bottom on your tries and supers.
And another good long shot in this race to keep an eye on. So let's go to the 4, War of Will, a 10 to 1 shot. This is the 2019 Preakness winner. And he's been actually racing better since he was switched over to turf this year. Last year, he ended the year with a 17. He had 7s. He had 8s. He ran in the Triple Crown races. Again, as I mentioned, won the Preakness. But this year, turf, 3 turf races, 8, 7, 5. So that's good. So he switches back to the dirt at 10 to 1.
Yeah, I don't like this horse. I mean, I like the 10 to 1. You know, if he's going to run an 8, well, then he becomes like a lot of other horses in the race. So that's what I think he's running. I would try to beat this horse. I'm not going to include him.
All right, let's go to the 5. This is one of the favorites, Nick's Go. Nick's Go, a Brad Cox horse. And this horse, it's interesting because Brad Cox took over this year. So after going 0 for 8 last year, this Nick's Go is 2 for 2 this year with Cox, including a career best 2 on the sheets in his last race at Keeneland last month. The only thing is, since this is his best race in 15 races prior, his second best is a 7. So a bounce is very possible, isn't it?
Yeah, what makes this a good betting race is both the favorites, Nixco number 5 and the 10 horse Complexity, both coming off of big races, and I don't expect either one of them to run well on Saturday. So when I have a race where I could throw out the
Yep.
big favorites, that's a big opportunity, in my opinion, to try to make some money. And I think he is definitely beatable. And I'm not using this horse on any tickets.
All right. The 6 is another long shot, but I don't see this horse showing anything.
No, last year he had some 4s, but he's gotten progressively worse since that, and there are certainly better 20 to 1 shots to use than that.
Yeah, even though he's coming off his first win since last August, that was just an 11. All right, here's another couple of good long shots. 7 is Rushy, 8 is Pirates Punch, and Rushi, or Rushy, I think it's Rushi, who knows, could be Rushy. Now, this horse, a 3-year-old with only 7 races, has a very good sheet line. I like the sheet line, culminating with a career best 7 in his last race at Churchill Downs a couple of months ago. That was a race that he won. So this is a horse that actually has a really nice sheet line. But in order for this horse to get in the money, you want to see that continue. It has to get to 6 or 5 to have a shot. But why not? Why can't this horse get a 6 or a 5?
Nothing wrong with this horse, lightly raced. And again, he's got 7 starts and he's never gone backwards. You know, you like to bet horses moving in the right direction, and that's the case with this horse. 7 starts, each race better than the previous one. Now, what's best about the horse is you are getting 20 to 1.
Yes.
And there are a lot of horses going in the wrong direction in this race. That's why this horse belongs in the mix somewhere.
All right, and then another good long shot to keep an eye on is Pirates Punch, the 20 to 1 shot. Last 3 races ran a 10, then a 7, then a 5. Has another 5 in January, has a 6 in May, coming off the best back-to-back races of his career. Not only are they both wins, but 7 and 5 are the best 2 back-to-back sheet numbers that he's had in his career, next to the 6 and the 7 that he ran earlier this year. So, again, an interesting 20 to 1 shot.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock him. He is. I like some other 20 to 1s. Like I like Sharp Samurai and Silver Dust, certainly better than this horse.
All right. Then comes the 9, Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze seems to not be able to put good back-to-back races or wins together. Now coming off a 13 to a 6. So the 13 was in September. The 6 is in October. That's a big gap. Considering the horse doesn't seem to put good races back together again, I'm probably going to stay away from him.
At 6 to 1, he's a play against, no question about it.
All right, the 10 is that horse you were talking about, 2 to 1 shot Complexity, coming off a 3 in his last race. If you take a look at it, the last time he ran a 3, he bounced to a 12. The only good thing about it was he was coming off a 20. This time he's coming off a 7. He is 3 for 3 in 1 mile races, but again, he's coming off that 3 last month.
Yeah, but the 1 mile races that he's 3 for 3 in are all tracks that have 1 turn. Those are all 1 turn miles. This is a 2-turn race. The 22 that he ran as a 2-year-old at Churchill, that was around 2 turns. That was the worst race of his life.
Interesting.
I want to play against this horse at a short price.
All right, sounds good. Next up is Jesus's team or Jesus's team. I don't like this horse at 30 to 1.
No, too slow.
All right. Also, we go to the next couple of horses, which is Owendale. Owendale is an 8 to 1 shot. Appears to fail when facing, the best competition out there. If you take a look at the results, Breeders' Cup Classic, Travers, Preakness, doesn't really, the results aren't there. He does have some 5s over the last couple of years. But he's 1-for-1 at Keeneland, which is nice. Cox is the trainer. 8-to-1's okay. I'm not going to go with this horse. What do you think about Owendale?
No, this horse is off the top. Certainly one of the better races of his life, and he's drawn in the 12 post going a mile. Not the place to be. I want to play against this horse as well. That's why I was saying what makes this a good betting race is that you have a lot of horses you could throw out that are short prices, like Nick's Go, Complexity, and Owendale. Those are the first three choices, and I'm not using any of them.
And we're not even going to bother with the 13, right?
He's a Japanese horse making his first start in the country, not getting Lasix and breaking from a very tough post. He's on the also eligibles anyway. He's not getting in.
All right, so I'm going to go with the Exacta 127. So I got a couple of long shots in there, and I'm going to go ahead and take the 1 to win, Art Collector.
I'm taking the 2-horse Sharp Samurai. I would use for sure the 3 Silver Dust, the 7 Rushy, the 8. That's what I would key the 2, though. The 2's my play at 15-1. And I may make a small key of the 3 Silver Dust if you really get anywhere near 30-1.
All right, so there you go. It's now hit the Classic. This is the big one. And, this race actually is the best race of the year, which it should be. The Breeders' Cup Classic. There's a ton of great horses in this race. We're going to start with Tacitus at 20-1. Tacitus, this horse is used to being a favorite, but when you take a look at it, and he's been in a lot of big races, he just isn't able to close the deal. A lot of seconds, a lot of thirds. Here he's 20-1. I think that's the thing that intrigues me is, he's 20-1. But he just doesn't seem to be able to beat the big boys.
No, this horse has no shot. First of all, he's getting worse. He ran a 4 earlier this year, has yet to get back to it, so that's a negative sign. It's 20-1 for a reason because he's not any good, and I don't think he has a shot in this spot.
Okay, now here is one of the favorites, Tiz the Law at 3-1. And Tiz the Law, second in the Kentucky Derby as the favorite. That was his last race. Before that, had a 4-race win streak and an impressive one. Travers, Belmont, Florida Derby. Now, this is interesting. I want to note because when we talked about this horse at the Kentucky Derby, you were very cognizant, and you pointed out that Tiz the Law was used to the longer layoffs. And that going into a short layoff, you were concerned about that. Sure enough, Tiz the Law wasn't able to close the deal after those 4 impressive wins. And here he's got the layoff again with a couple of months. So what do you think about Tiz the Law?
Yeah, we gave this horse a perfect read on the sheets because we were really 100% right. We said we didn't expect him to run well, and he didn't. Now he's got time off. I think this horse is going to be very tough to beat. I think he's going to win. And I think he'll be every bit of the 3-1 because they're going to go for other horses in this race. I like this horse a lot.
Yeah, I like. Yep, me too. He's definitely one of my top 4 horses as well. All right, by my standards at 10-1. You like the odds, no question. You need the odds. 11 out of 12 in the money is nice. 9 out of 9 in the money on faster tracks with 6 wins is nice. The odds, if you can get him to finish second, that's a pretty decent payout. I don't like 4, 5, 7 in his last 3 races. The sheets are going in the opposite direction, but I do like the odds.
Yeah, everything you said was right. The 10-1 is good, but it looks like he could be tailing off, even though he won last time out. That's the worst thing. When you win with a bad number, well, then you lose all the value in the horse because, he didn't run well and still won. And that's the case with him. So he's going to get some money. He's 10-1. He'll probably be about that price. And, he's on the border. I don't really like him. But if he's above 10-1, I may throw him in somewhere.
All right. The 4, this is another horse that I'm going to have in my exacta, and that is Tom's Data, a Rosario horse. I love older horses that still throw out strong efforts. This is a 7-year-old horse that is a 2 and a 4 in his last 2. Matter of fact, 3 races this year, 6-2-4. That's excellent.
He never runs bad. I mean, he's going to be every bit of 6-1. You're getting Rosario, and this along with Tiz the Law, this horse would actually be my second choice, probably in the race. Yep. And I like that exact. I like 2-4.
All right, we're right on so far. Okay, then comes a 30-1 shot that I don't give a shot.
No, he's going to bounce off the 7 anyway. Anytime he runs any sort of number, he bounces. He is 30 to 1, but I can't use him.
I wish Flavian Platt was on a better horse. Higher power, did run a 5 and a 6 over his last 3 races. But, this is just, maybe you get lucky if he gets into the trifecta. That's possible, but I don't see anything better than that.
Somewhere in the bottom of tries or supers, he's 20 to 1. You're getting Pratt and Sadler.
Yeah.
You could certainly do better than that. But listen, again, somewhere on the bottom at best.
Okay, the 7 is one of those long shots that I'm not too interested in. He did beat Tacitus his last time out, but we talked about it before. Tacitus is also not doing all that great at this point, so pass on Global Campaign.
Yeah, I don't like this horse at all.
All right, here's Improbable, 5-2 shot, and Improbable it absolutely broke out this year. I mean, wasn't doing much of anything last year. Ran into big races, but nothing. Then this year, 4 straight 5s and wins in the Gold Cup, the Whitney, and then, of course, beating Maximum Security his last time out by 4 lengths. This is the first of 2 straight Bob Baffert horses. This will probably go off as the favorite.
How about 3 straight Bob Baffert horses?
Oh, yeah.
9 and 10.
Right.
I'm a little negative on this horse only because he hasn't broken through the 5s yet.
Okay.
But that's why I like Tiz the Law a lot better. Tiz the Law has that 3 and is going to run that 3 or better on Saturday. Where this horse, could run another 5. Well, if he runs another 5, why does he have to beat Tom's D'Etat or Authentic? The next 2 horses coming up. But again, I'm not knocking him.
Oh, yeah, can't.
Nope. This league, okay. I'm going to use him, but I'm not going to key off of him, that's for sure. And not even going to use him on top of Tiz the Law, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is, and we're going to get into these final 2 excellent horses. This is one of those races you just really have to wait until you see the lines. Right. Because there's so many good horses, and hopefully one of the horses you want. Well, I didn't think he was going to be 5 or 6 to 1. Or the 9 is Authentic, another excellent horse. This is where you're getting value. Last 4 races, 5, 5, 5, and a 4. Had a win at the Haskell, had a win in the Kentucky Derby, then got beat by a neck in the Preakness by Swiss Skydiver, who unfortunately is not going to be in any of these big races. Now, she will race on the card, but we just don't like the race. It's the reason why we didn't go with it. Unfortunately, she's not going up against the type of big horses that we're seeing in the Classic. Anyway, what do you think about Authentic? I love the 6 to 1.
Yeah, listen, what's the difference between Improbable and Authentic? They look similar. The only difference is Authentic is 6 to 1 compared to 5 to 2, and Authentic already ran a 4, and Improbable didn't, And I like Authentic better than Improbable, and I'm going to be using Authentic.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, if something happens tomorrow where all of a sudden Authentic goes down to 2 to 1 and one of these other favorites switches to 6 to 1, then we've got a different story. But we're only going by what we can do right now, and that's the money. That's the morning line. Okay, next up is another, of course, beauty, Maximum Security at 7 to 2. The only question is now, after he's off the juice, is that it for Maximum Security? He's run 2/8 in his last 3 races.
Well, this horse is going to take money. He was the big favorite against Authentic the last time out, or Improbable, whoever he ran against the last time out, So hopefully he'll take money again. I don't like him at all. I think he's finished, and I think I would definitely be playing against him.
All right, who are you going to go with?
I love the 2, Tiz the Law. I'm going to play him in exactas over the 4 and 9.
4 and 9. Yeah, I mean, we're right on it. I mean, I like the 2, the 4, and of course the 8 and the 9. I don't like the 5 to 2 on the 8 though. But yeah, this is one of those races that out of those 4, I'm going to wait to see how the odds how the odds look. But I'm right there with you, John. I appreciate it as always. Enjoy the next few days. It's going to be jam-packed, and hope you're very successful because I know how important the next couple of days can be for you.
Thanks, my friend. Be well, stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good, John. Thank you.
Be well.
All right, that's John Hardoon, who will be with us again sometime soon. Too bad that we couldn't get any races in over the last month or so, but unfortunately, the races, the cars just weren't very good, and that's what we always talk about. If you're new to the show, the report that we do, just keep that in mind that we don't just come on the show every week. We come on whenever there's some good races. We have to have a combination. See, John he does his thing all the time. 365, he's constantly handicapping races. And we have a lot of things we're working on with John behind the scenes too, with some of our other partners like playbook.com. So we have a lot of things that we're going to hopefully start to break out, so we can provide, a little bit more coverage on John, while also making sure that we can branch out and add to his, as far as his client list. That's always the number one goal. But bottom line, again, for new listeners, people who have never seen this report before, that's how we go with it with John. Of course, I have a network where we're in the middle of football season. And I mean, we even have the Masters coming up next week. NASCAR ends up next week, which is good. So that means there's a little bit of a break for us schedule-wise. But unfortunately, the same thing is happening in the thoroughbred industry. Once this is over, things kind of die down up until the beginning of next year. But like I said, we're going to try to work things out within a short period of time where we can make this a weekly thing, and not only, okay, let's make sure it's a big race, let's make sure the cards are excellent. So even if they're, one of the things that I'm going to try and do with John is say, okay, we'll get you on no matter what every week, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll put you on for these types of shows with the big races, and then we can get into more details about all the horses. That could last about 15 or 20 minutes, but just getting them on every week, even if it's only for 5 minutes or so, is something that we're working on. And anyway, just wanted to let everybody know that. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I was going to talk about race 8 as well, and I'm going to give you some bonus information on here with the sheets. So what I do want to throw in there is the Grade 1 Turf Sprint. That's race 5, and I wanted to just throw in one horse, and that's Leinster. Now, we did not do these races with Leinster on these reports, but I did pick Leinster on the side. In his last 2 races, Leinster won both races. I think he was like about a 10-1 shot the first time out. Loved it. I was like, yeah, all right, big payout for me. Love it. Came right back. Of course, he turned out to be a favorite, but still hit him again. So I'm on a 2 for 2 at Leinster, and Leinster is 4-1 in race 5. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I have a good little thing going with Leinster. So I'm going back to Leinster. Race 5 right now at 4-1. Okay, I'm going to break down race 8, and this is a 6 furlong Breeders' Cup Sprint. Not going to talk too much about Echo Town because Echo Town doesn't have much. A couple of 7s this year, 9 last time out. He did win that race, the Jerkins race, the Grade 1 race at Saratoga in August, but only ran a 7. So that's just not enough for me. This is this is Breeders' Cup Day. If you're going to be running 7s, that shouldn't be enough. All right, now the 2 is CZ Rocket. And I gave this horse some serious consideration, and why not? Major change in production with this horse after Peter Miller took over. The horse was claimed at the end of April, and nothing. The horse was doing nothing. A couple of wins, that's about it. Because we're talking 22 starts lifetime. All of a sudden, Peter Miller, the horses claimed in May, and in those 5 races, 5 for 5, and we'll go in order for the sheets: 8, 5, 6, 4, 3. So now you know why I gave this horse some serious consideration at 7-2. Why not? He's also 2 for 2 at Keeneland. So there's a lot to like about CZ Rocket. What I don't like are the odds. All right. And also, you do have to keep in mind that even though the horse won 2 grade 2 races, and they have come over the last 2 races, that's it. There really isn't a big resume of major wins. No Grade 1s or anything like that. So, and there were just some other horses I liked, which for me bounced CZ Rocket out. But I'll tell you right now, if CZ Rocket winds up getting some better odds than I'm expecting, 6-1, something like that, maybe even better, who knows, then absolutely, I'm going to make sure I put something in there for CZ Rocket. Collusion Illusion. Now, this is a horse that I'm throwing in because of the money at 20-1. This is my top long shot. And I think this is the best horse for trying to make a little bit of money on your exactas. Now, I know that in 4 races this year, which were better than his 3 races last year, are just 7, 7, 9, 7. All right, I get that. But you also have to keep an eye on the fact that this horse has been a favorite in all 4 of those races. So, this is a horse that was a lot expected on. Last year ran grade 1 race. Something happened there. Not sure what it is. And, John would have been able to explain why the horse tanked in that race. And that's unfortunate because he had 2 wins before that. Just had some really bad thing occur in that grade 1 race at Santa Anita last September. Then came back this year. Matter of fact, if you look at it, whatever happened in the race in September was serious enough that he didn't race again until this May. But win. And then third to, by the way, CZ Rocket. Okay? What's the difference between CZ Rocket and Collusion Illusion? 20-1. That's the difference. So that's why, and I love Flavian Pratt. He's on board of this long shot. So look, like I said, I like CZ Rocket. Just didn't make the cut. If you like him, and especially now that you've heard the sheets that are going to be attached to that horse, hey, more power to you with CZ Rocket. I just also like the fact that Collusion Illusion is getting 20-1 at this point. Okay, now let's go to we're not going to spend any time on the other 2 long shots, the 4 and the 5. The 4 ran a 6 in March, and last year was pretty decent. He had 2 3s and a 5. And by the way, the horse is coming off a win at Keeneland at 6 furlongs. But the win at Keeneland at 6 furlongs was a 9, which happened to be the best race since March, since the 6. They just kill this horse. 43 starts. He's only 5 years old. 30-1 for a reason. I'll pass. But showing more than the 5, that's for sure. They're both 30-1. The 4 is clearly the better horse than the 5 in my mind. Let's go to the 6. Now, Frank's Rocket. This is the lone filly in the field, and Frank's Rocket is my second horse that I like at 10-1. And if you take a look at the last 5 races, 13, 11, 9, 7, 6. Excellent last 5 races as far as the sheet line. What has she done in those 5 races? Second, first, and first. So love that. In 5 straight races, not only has she won the last 4, but she's improved in her sheet line in all 5 of those races. All of those have been between 6 and 6.5 furlongs, and she's 10 for 10 in the money. All win and place tickets. So 10-1 we're talking about here. I'm guessing she's 10-1 because she's a filly going up against the boys. But I'm looking at everything else and I'm saying, okay, if you don't even know she's a filly against the boys, why wouldn't you take Frank's Rocket at 10-1? And shouldn't this be the year of the filly? Swiss Skydiver? So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Frank's Rocket at 10-1 as my second pick today. Let's move on to Whitmore. And, Whitmore, I was taking a look at Whitmore at 50, and I didn't even look at the odds first. And I was going over Whitmore and I was going, hey, you know what? This horse. Because I honestly, when I was looking at Whitmore and the information, I thought the horse was going to be played at maybe at 6 or 8-1. I thought so. And then I realized, well, wait a second. Yeah, he is 7 years old, excuse me. And you're in a big race like this, because we talked about how impressive. I forget which horse it was that I mentioned before, getting older. Still, the sheet numbers are excellent. That's just not the case with Whitmore. Whitmore last year had a 5, a 4, a 3. This year, the best for Whitmore, a couple of 6s. Not bad. Again, not bad at all. You're talking about 7-year-old, the oldest horse in the field. Sheets are dropping. There's no question. But 15-1. Okay, so I'm not going to knock a 15-1 shot. That's something John always preaches. How do you not love 21 of 23 in the money in 6 furlong races? How do you not love that? That's incredible. 21 of 23 in 6 furlong races. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, maybe you say to yourself, well, why not? If I'm looking for some other exactas, I'm looking for a bigger payout, a trifecta. Why not put Whitmore in there? I mean, 21 out of 23. I don't think you can go wrong with that, to tell you the truth. Ferenzi fires 8-1, 3 straight fives. Excuse me, three. Actually, I can say that 3 straight fives on faster tracks, because this horse had a 5, a 5, a 14, and a 5. But the 14 was the sloppy forego, and he finished 11th in the race. So we obviously draw a line through that one. So we have 5-5-5. So that's very good. You got 5-5-5. You got an 8-1 shot. But how about this? Ran a 4th in the Saratoga race in July. And who did he race behind? Whitmore. Whitmore's 15-1. And if you take a look at the race at the Carter Handicap, finished 4th in June at Belmont. And that one, he finished, just going to double check. I have it right here. This one, he finished behind, let's see. I'm pretty sure it was. Just want to double check. That was 4th. Yeah, which I think it was, I thought it was Vacoma who's racing in this one, which we'll be getting to in just a minute. I don't know why I don't. Oh, that's why I don't. Yeah, it was Vacoma. But again, the race was the Carter Handicap, and that was in June. Yeah, Vacoma. So, and I like Vacoma. Like I said, we'll get to Vacoma in just a bit. But you have a horse that has 3 straight fives on a dirt fast, which does excite you or interest you enough at 8-1. But the biggest problem I have is the fact that in 2 races out of the last 5 that this horse has faced horses in the same field in this race, Ferenzi's Fire has finished 4th behind those horses. So, yeah, I'm going to pass. I think there were other horses, including Whitmore, that I would take. Okay, Empire of Gold is the 30-1 shot. Don't like anything about Empire of Gold. Now, he has run a couple of 8s the last couple of races, but this horse just doesn't race with the big boys. So I don't expect anything out of Empire of Gold. Yopan. Now, this is my other pick. This is my 3rd of 3 horses, Yopan. Rosario horse with Asmussen. The horse has done nothing wrong. 4 for 4. You see that. Won every race. Not only that, but won every race at 6 furlongs. And as far as the sheets, because that's what you're waiting for, 10, 6, 5, 5. So this horse hasn't done anything wrong. And right now, about 4-1. So why not stick with Yopan until Yopan does do something wrong? So that's the 3rd of my 3 horses. But taking a look at the 11, Diamond Ops at 8-1, coming off a win in a Grade 2 race, Keeneland, 6 furlongs. But just like one of the other horses we talked about, I think in this very same race, under the same kind of situation, same scenario, and I think that was Bone Raison. That horse ran a 9 last time out. Keeneland, 6 furlongs. Diamond Ops ran a 7 last time out. So that's a little bit better. That's why this horse is 8-1. Now, he did run a 5 last December, a 4 last July, a 5 last June, a 6 this June, just a few months back. And that's all okay. There's nothing. That's why the horse is 8-1. But Breeders' Cup Mile last year finished 8th. Nothing impressive there. And if you take a look, this is another horse that when he does race in these Grade 1 races, there's a little bit short on the races. I can see why he's, I'll tell you the truth, I think I'd like a little bit better odds with Diamond Ops. He won, let's see, I'm taking a look here. Yeah, I mean, 11 out of 16 lifetimes, okay. 1 for 1 at Keeneland, you definitely like, especially being the last race. Uh, it's not the worst idea. It's a decent horse at 8 to 1. I just don't sense anything special about the horse. But this is what's so great about the races that you're going to get, especially the ones that we wanted to pick, because there's so many options. And this is clearly a horse good enough to win this type of race. But there's so many other talented horses in here that you can't bet them all. But I just wanted to let you know, as always, that's what we're doing here. We're giving you the facts: fives, fours, and fives. Last year, 6 was the best that he could get this year. So that's also important to note. That was in June. Okay, the 12 is a 30 to 1 shot. The only thing the 12 has done good was in May at 7 furlongs, you ran a 4. So that's very impressive. Second in the race, though. But this horse hasn't won in a while. Matter of fact, this horse has one win in 16 races since the beginning of 2019. Three wins out of 20 at 30 to 1. Forget it. Forget the 13. Nothing to like there. Let's see. Yeah, and matter of fact, this is another horse from Japan. I don't even think. Yeah, I don't see any sheets at all here. Now, the last 2 horses, Vekoma. This was a horse that I was thinking about at 3 to 1. Just didn't make the cut. This is the 2019 Bluegrass winner. Won 3 straight after a disappointing 13th at the Kentucky Derby. So that's all good. Ran a perfect score in the Grade 1 Carter Handicap in June. So I just talked about the Carter Handicap. And this was the horse. Now, that's awesome. It's the best sheet line of any horse in this field by far. 0. Matter of fact, I think it was a -0.5, I believe, on the sheet. Okay, that's great. Couple of things, though. It was a sloppy track. So it's just one thing. Even though 5 wins out of 6 on a dirt fast track. So I don't really care about that. 1 for 1 at this distance. So that's good. 1 for 1 at Keeneland. So you like that. Matter of fact, that this horse, the win at Keeneland was the Bluegrass. I mentioned that. That was last year. He ran that 6 furlong at Belmont last September. He ran an 8. That was, I believe, the first race of his career, which is pretty impressive. Last 3 races, 7, 0, 7. Now, here's the problem I have with the horse, and it's a small one, but when you're talking about a 3 to 1 shot, we always try to nitpick them. You're talking about a horse that the best race he's been able to put out there besides the 0 is 7. So you have a huge difference, 0 to 7. I mean, shouldn't we expect at least one more performance, even at 3 or 4? Because if Vekoma gets a 3 or a 4 on Saturday, Vekoma's probably going to win the race. But are you willing to take that chance at 3 to 1? And I just decided I'm not going to do that. Because even though we're going to go with one of the long shots, Collusion Illusion at 20 to 1, and 10 to 1, Frank's Rocket. Again, 10 to 1, that's the 6. But our top, pick as far as a favorite, the one that we compared to Vekoma, is Yopan. So we decided we're going with Yopan over Vekoma and the other couple of favorites. Because like I said about Yopan hasn't done anything wrong. 0. Okay? And the sheets just tell me that consistently, hey, you know what? Even if we get another 5, that could still wind up being better than Vekoma. Because Vekoma, again, where has anything else better than a 7? Perfect score, 7s and up. At least we know Yopan, 6.55, 3 in a row. So I'm nitpicking. That's what you have to do when you're deciding upon 1 or 2 favorites. But that's the reason why I decided to go with Yopan over Vekoma. But how can you not like a horse that ran a perfect score not too long ago? But that's the way that I'm going to go with it. And I think, I believe that's it. So because Lasting Legacy, I should note that Lasting Legacy at 30 to 1 has decent numbers. If you look at last year in the 4 races, 9, 7, 5, 5. So Lasting Legacy ended the year looking pretty good. 9, 7, 5, 5. That was first, second, fourth. All right. Now there's a trainer change, and that was after the first race of the year when he ran. So it comes out of the gate with an 11, and that's a disappointing fourth. So after the way that the horse ended the year last year, maybe you would have been more optimistic about the first race. Well, it didn't work. Disappointing. And that was the second straight grade 3 race, by the way. The horse ran a grade 3 for the first time in December, and that was where you saw the horse with a runner up, and that one was a 5 again, as I mentioned. But now you go to an 11 and another grade 3 and a fourth. So you get the trainer change from Service to Hess. And so far, it's been okay. 8, 7, 7. Second, first, and fourth. But now you got a claiming situation. All right. And so now you have a little bit more of an unknown factor. But at 30 to 1, I will say, when you compare some of the other 30 to 1 long shots, I wouldn't, if there's something you like about this horse, and there are other couple of things. What was it? Let's see. We're talking 19, 18. In 2017, we've got a 6 and we have a 3. All right. Didn't do much at all in 2018. Nothing. But then, as I mentioned last year, you had the 2 5s, and now is trending the right way. 11, 8, 7, 7, and now you have someone else handling the horse. The horse has been claimed. Who knows? Anything's possible now. So at 30 to 1, definitely better than a few of these other 30 to 1s, which I would just completely throw out. I'm not going to, I've got enough. Matter of fact, I already have 2 long shots. Well, 10 to 1's not a long shot, but, I have my long shot in the field. 10 to 1, I've got the filly, and Collusion Illusion is my top long shot at 20 to 1. So I'm covered in that respect. But hey, Lasting Legacy, I've given you the sheet information, and you can do what you want to do with that. But keep in mind, I think it's not the worst idea in the world if you're looking for long shots. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up by going over our picks again. In order of the races, I said at the beginning after I said goodbye to John, Leinster at 4 to 1. Like I said, he's 2 for 2 with me, so I'm riding Leinster once again in the turf sprint at that's the 5th race 5, and we move to the 6th race. That's the race that John handicapped with me, and John went. His top horse was the 2. He also likes the 3, the 7, and the 8. I'm going with the 1, 2, and 7. So we both like the 2 and the 7. I like the 1 Art Collector. Again, the Bluegrass Stakes winner. He's going to be my top horse. That's my exacta. So John and I are pretty much on the same wavelength here, especially with the 2 Sharp Samurai, because that's a 15 to 1 shot. The only negative, the horse hasn't won since October of 2018. It's been a while. But as mentioned before, 4, if we look back in 2017, 4, 6, 5, 5, in those 4 races to end that year, then the next year, 2018, 9, 6, 7, 5. Then last year, 5, 7, 6, 6. This year, well, the 10's not a good way to start. Next one's a 6. Okay, we're back in business. Well, wait a second. Now we're coming off turf. We're going to go to a dirt race? Why are we doing that? Well, we're going to do it. And at the Pacific Classic's a huge race, a grade 1. And it almost paid off. Runner up to maximum security of all races, of all horses. So he only finished three behind maximum security. That's pretty impressive, considering he hadn't raced on dirt in a couple of years. 3 years, I guess, maybe more. Then goes back to turf, runs at 8, finishes runner-up again. So anyway, there's a lot to like there. And I certainly hope Sharp Samurai stays in the double digits as far as the odds. But that's a little bit of a reason why John and I both like the 2 Sharp Samurai. And that was, again, that's in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. And then the Classic, I went with 2489. John went with 249. So we like the 2, the 4, and the 9. And Tis the Law obviously is one of the favorites. So is Tom's Data. And the 9 Authentic is 6-1. So you're still talking. That's why I was saying it would not surprise me if let's just say Authentic goes off at 3-1 and Tis the Law goes off at 5-1. Why would any of that be a big surprise? Well, it wouldn't be a big surprise to me at all. And that's the reason why it's hard for me to even say that I'm going to make a pick here on this race. Because you're just it's kind of hard to do it when you really don't know what the odds are going to be. But all of those horses there are worth thinking about. We both agreed that Maximum Security, maybe the best is behind a horse that had to deal with some drug issues. Hold on one second. That's annoying. I don't know why that's happening. That's interesting. CJ, we're doing. Oh, that's right. We're ready to go. I forgot. I got another show. I'm talking too much. Anyway, you see. Usually I do these shows with John, and we're on like Friday nights. I got all day to talk. Well, I don't have enough time to talk now, so I got to go. I got another show. That's the NASCAR show. It's the final race that we're going to handicap, the playoff race. So if you're into NASCAR, we're going to have picks and all that stuff coming up a little bit later on. Anyway, I got to run. Hope you enjoyed it. We gave you all that bonus information because we haven't been on the air in a while, and this is it. This is the Super Bowl of the season, so enjoy it. Thanks to John Hardoon. I'm Greg DePalma. Best of luck, everybody, over the next couple of days, and we'll talk to you next time.